Hey, what's happening? This is Coach Karvell Bailey, and I'm making this video for all my athletes out there. What can we learn from Jamal Murray? What can we learn from Mr. Murray in this past 7-game series? Well, we can learn a few things from him, but I just want to point out two things, right? Two things, and the obvious thing: never give up. Never give up. You have to play until there's 4 zeros on the clock. So many times, athletes may see themselves down or they may see themselves up and they stop playing. Well, we've seen countless times teams that have come back at the end of games. Myself personally, I remember coaching in a game back when I was coaching in high school on a high school level, and we were down about 8 or 9 points, and we kept fighting until the end, and we went on a run like that last minute and a half, and wound up winning by one. And it even surprised my athletes at that time, because they're like, man, we need to start playing to the end every game. Absolutely correct. So the first thing, never give up. You want to play until there's 4 zeros on the clock all the way across. Never give up. He never gave up. His team was down 3-1, right? It doesn't happen often. A lot of teams don't come back. And I'm not sure if if it was the 5th or the 12th. I'm not sure what. Maybe I'm thinking of 5-12 matchups like in playoffs. But they were either the 5th team or the 12th team in NBA history to come back from a 3-1 deficit, right? We know that the Cavaliers did it against Golden State. That's what a lot of people remember back in the day. We also remember, I believe, when Seattle was put out, the playoffs also back in the day, 3-1. But never give up. Athletes, never give up. Play until there's 4 zeros. And the second thing, right, and this is really the most important thing, the second thing is this. When they interviewed him after game 6, after he made scored 50, right? I think he hit 50, 41, then again 50 going into game 6. And he had pictures on his shoes, and he had Breonna Taylor. I want to say he had Breonna Taylor on both shoes, but he probably had Breonna Taylor and maybe George Floyd. I'm not quite certain on it because I really didn't watch it. I just saw that post-game interview, and he was emotionally drained. He left it all on the court, which is the bonus, right? Play until there's 4 zeros on the court, but the bonus, before I get to my second point, the bonus is leave everything on the court. So many athletes are emotional and they get frustrated when they lose because they feel as though they had so much more to offer. When you leave it all on the court, that's all that you can do, right? John Wooden quoted, and I mentioned it in my first book, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. John Wooden, mentioned when John Wooden talks about just being successful, right? And he talks about, giving the best that you can give at the time in which you can give it, right? So you want to leave everything on the court. And if you leave everything on the court, you really won't be frustrated. You really won't be emotional because you gave it all that you had. So my first thing is play until there's 4 zeros on the clock, right? The bonus in between that is leave everything on the court. And then the last thing, going back to those pictures on his shoes, and what he stated after the game was this. He said, they like this cause drives me to be something better, to be something different. So to my athletes, you have to have something or somebody that you're playing for besides yourself. Now, I don't want to get into this all the way, but let me break it down real quick. You don't play the game for other people, right? Don't play the game because of your parents. Don't play the game because of your coach. Don't play the game because of your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever it may be, because they like you playing. They like to brag on you, right? Don't play for somebody else, right? You want to play for yourself, but you want to play because of somebody else. Does that make sense? Right? Like, find a reason, find a clause, find a person, find a cause. A reason, a clause, a person, or a cause. Reason, clause, person, cause. 4 things to play because, right? You don't want to play for other people, but you want to play because of certain things. Does that make sense? And when you can play because you want to change your parents' zip code, when you want to play because you want to earn a scholarship and your parents don't have money to pay for it, you want to play because you want to show other individuals that you too can be successful at this game, right? That's different for playing for somebody else. You got to play for you. You have to play for you, because otherwise, this is why so many athletes get stressed out, because they're not in their natural abilities. They're really in their adaptive abilities, which is something totally different. But those 3 things that we can get from Jamal Murray, right? Playing till there's 4 zeros on the clock. Number 1, leave it all out on the court. Leave it all out on the court. Offensively, defensively, those intangible things, right? Leave everything on the court. And then the last thing, you don't want to play for other people, but you want to play because of certain things, right? And these are the 3 reasons, other than he is definitely talented, right? But these are the 3 things that helped Jamal Murray and his team, Denver Nuggets, overcome a 3-1 deficit and win that series. All right. So listen, if you want to get more information, on how you can find the right school to play at in college, right? So there are so many athletes that they wind up in the wrong school, wrong situation because of different things, and they maybe didn't have the right strategy. But here's what I want to do, right? I want you to go check out my free case study video. It's going to give you 3 secrets that I've shared with all parents that I've ever been around, about how they can help their student athlete find the right scholarship for them and not really have to be worrying about, I'm not getting recruited, or I'm not getting recruited. I didn't get recruited by this school. I'm waiting on this school. There is a school out here for you athletes, right? Now, have your parents tap into this free case study video, and then they can get those secrets. And then if they would like my help with it, then they can get back in contact with me. All right. So that free case study video, they can check that out at www.b2bsdhoopsmastery.com.